Okay, it's live. All right. So first, we're supposed to discuss the video, our thoughts about the role playing that they did for us. So I've got some key points here that I'm supposed to bring up. But first, I'll ask, what did you think? What were your
So the
thoughts?
first time that they went around, the feedback or like what the discussion about it was like really accurate. He kind of just came in there pompously and was like, like huffing and puffing and everything, and just kind of slammed the hammer down for him. I think that's the term he used.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of ways it's better to really show empathy in everything that we do. Um, I don't know. For me, that's like a given and show respect or whatever. But another thing I feel like, I mean, to address something that may be sensitive like that, I really like what Sister Greenwood said in her podcast. Like people could be, I don't know, having issues right then and there. The
Mm-hmm.
supervisor could not really know about it. So I feel like it's important to kind of place yourself in their shoes before you even think or
Yeah.
speak to them, I guess. But
Yeah. One thing that I kept thinking, at least during the first one, and I'm surprised that they didn't. I don't know. I think it would have been good for them to maybe throw this in there, but I think the level at which he was talking about, the one guy was sitting down and the other guy just came in and was standing up. And when you have a
yeah,
sensitive topic like that, those little like slight differences can make a big difference. And I feel like it might have like made him more comfortable if he like dragged a chair over and sat down with him. Then was like, okay, what's going on here? Let's talk about? Do you need anything from us? It's like his discussion was really good, but I think it would have added to the D um what's the word?
the debriefing or the discussion.
Like what's the word? It's like right there on the tip of my tongue. Defensive. So he wouldn't get so defensive.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, there's another word that I'm thinking of, but just getting on someone. We've learned that throughout these courses. With even just working with people with disabilities. Like if someone's in a wheelchair, I know that I've been taught multiple times throughout the courses. Get down on their level. Show them that you're equals. Like don't make them feel inferior because of their disability. Show them that you don't think that you are inferior to them. And I think that goes for the
right.
same, like when you need to talk about something sensitive, about someone being above someone else that can make another person be on the defense.
No, absolutely. I
That's
was
just
gonna
something
say
to
like,
think
yeah, I was gonna say like right when you're talking about coming down and bringing a chair, it's just exactly like how you want to speak to a child. And the same way with people in with the disability, you literally want to come down to their level, so that even in aspect or I guess in theory, you're not hovering over them like you're better than them or whatever. So,
Yeah.
that's a really good point. I really like that.
Okay. Some of the points that I think I'm supposed to bring up is it's vital to establish an expectation with a connected consequence when dealing with employee discipline. In the video, the supervisor should have ended the conversation by confirming the expected behavior and the consequence for not meeting the expectation. Yeah, he didn't. He said like they kind of agreed that it would get better, but they never discussed, like what the policies are about
Right.
like what's going to happen if it doesn't improve. Did talk about like taking away vacation days, but to me that sounded kind of it almost sounded like childish coming from that guy because he was it was just kind of he was being kind of haughty and well, we're going to punish you if you're not going to give me a good answer or respond the way I want you to, then we're going to take away a vacation day.
Yeah, I think he probably could have been a lot more professional with it.
Yeah.
Just in ways that, I mean, and even like more respectful towards him, like, yeah, and like really talk about, yeah, I like what you said, like the policies and procedures of. Here, do you want a person? Sorry, like tag teaming it.
You're fine. That's a good daddy right there.
So yeah, so, and then, yeah, I agree with what you said.
Okay, so the next one says, I think this is connected to the first bullet point. For example, the supervisor should have asked, will you be here on time? Once the employee confirms that they will arrive on time, then the supervisor would state the consequence so that both parties are clear on the ramifications of not meeting their expectation. I think that is something really, really important from the get-go, from hiring people and just being consistent about it throughout, like letting people know these behaviors are unacceptable, ... and these are the way we handle them. So, like, I remember as a lifeguard, things like being tardy was really, really frowned upon. Like, you get written up, I think, well, you get a warning first, and then you get written up. And then if you got 3 write-ups, you were fired. And I saw that happen to a few people. And you can get written up for other things other than tardiness, but anyways, but we knew, like, everybody knew, like, one more write-up and you're gone. Like, it doesn't matter how many people like you here. It doesn't matter if the boss likes you here. Like, that is protocol, and they can't make you an exception. And it would happen. And I think it's really important to just be clear from the get-go.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And especially if you're clear with employees, then I feel like they not only know what their limits are, but they're going to be more willing to work rather than living in fear just because they don't really know what's going to happen. I don't know, maybe that's just in my perspective, but I feel like if I know what the expectations are, I know especially what they would like out of me, and not necessarily like the rules, but also like what they would hope for me to be, then I'd be more motivated to exceed those expectations even, or meet them or exceed them, so that I could be able to contribute better as a worker. And hopefully it's in that environment so that, you want to follow protocols and not just necessarily, oh, I have to do it or else I'll be fired, so.
Yeah, no, I am the same way. I get really anxious when things like instructions are vague, because so many times you think that, you're doing it maybe the way that it's supposed to be done, and then you turn around and even though the instructions were vague, the person who's overseeing your work or whatever has expectations in their mind, and their expectations don't match up with your interpretation. And it's not that your interpretation was wrong, but it's just, it would be much better if things were clear. I like when I work with people, when I'm in group work, when I'm in, I don't know, anything, I hate vagueness. It like drives me nuts. Unless it's like someone saying, okay, you have absolute creative leeway here. We will accept whatever you come up with. And as long as they stick to that and accept whatever I come up with, then that's okay. But if they have an expectation and they're just hoping that I'll get it right, that drives me nuts.
No, really though, it's like it's hard with, like, especially with assignments sometimes when there's like, this assignment where it's like, write a paper or whatever, and there's no outline or there's no rubric for it. And like, what are they wanting specifically, or does it need to be double spaced, or is it single spaced, or just different things like that or whatever. I don't know. So I know what you mean. I feel like that's frustrating when you're as a student with doing assignments and things like that, because you just want to do a good job so you can do great and graduate and learn well. So
Totally hear you there. Okay. Oh, now we're supposed to conduct a role play.
okay. Part of that sheet, right?
Yeah, it says
Like
employee
the
discipline
case
role
study.
play scenarios. There's 4 of them. I have to run and go get my daughter. She's woke up. So read
Okay,
through
you're so fine.
those and pick one, and then we'll do it when I get back.
Sounds good. Yeah, mine's like being slow about loading, but now I just found it. Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, boy.
Good job.
So proud of you.
I'm so tired today. Yesterday was Tucker did not. Okay, so I read it previously, but it's still loading on my computer.
Okay. A citizen calls in to the city manager's office and states that an employee of the city is at home during work hours. What do you do? After finding out the employee was home during work hours, role play the meeting as part of Sweets Week. The local news television crew covertly films an employee sleeping on the job at one of the local parks. Role play the meeting you have with her. An employee arrives at his designated workstation seemingly confused and unaware of what is going on around him. A subsequent alcohol test demonstrates the employee is under the influence at work. Role play the meeting you have. An employee continually comes to work late and leaves early. Role play the meeting you have with her. Okay, I'm thinking either 2 or 3, since we've already kind of discussed
Okay.
like late scenarios. Like
Yeah, that's true.
So either the one sleeping on the job or the one who came in drunk.
Okay, let's do let's do number 3.
Okay. All right. So he shows up confused and unaware, and an alcohol test shows he's under the influence. Okay. Let me see if there's any.
I feel like this would be almost hard, at least for me, because I've never probably even confronted somebody who's ever been drunk before. Like, well, I've had experience with people on my mission where I've had drunk people talk to me all the time. I mean, that's like what you get in Germany. But I feel like confronting them as far as disciplining their behavior, that'd probably be, I don't know, it's out of my comfort zone at least.
Yeah. Okay. So we're supposed to role play this, and we each take turns being the employer and being the employee. So which do you want to be first?
I can be the employee first.
Okay. All right. So you came in drunk, and obviously they had you take a test. So I'd probably set up a meeting. So I'd be like, "Hey Kylie, could we meet?" Trying to think if this would be a now situation or in an hour situation or later this day situation. Well, I'd probably talk to him as soon as I got the results of the test. So I'd probably come in and be like, hey, Kylie, do you have a minute that we can talk?
Sure. What's it about?
Well, the other day you came in and you were really confused and whatnot, and we had to take that test. And it came back positive that you were under the influence. And so we really need to talk about it. Is this a good time to talk about
Yesterday?
the subject?
Are you sure that was yesterday?
Yes, it was.
Are you sure that the results were positive? Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, I mean, that's what the test said. That's what they gave me. So, is there something going on, like that happened that maybe the reason you came in that way, or?
I mean, I just live life. Like, I mean, live life to the fullest, right? Live like you're dying. Really, like, are you sure that, like, I'm under the influence? Because I come to work every day and I live life every day, and life is great.
All right. So, okay, you keep asking me if I'm sure. Are you saying that you weren't drinking?
You know, I really don't even recall what happened like the last 3 days. So I came to work. Like, isn't that all that matters? Like, I came to work. So
Okay. Well, we are glad that you came to work. That is a plus. But in our line of work, we can't um we can't do our work really well and serve our clients if we're not at our top game. And the company policy deems being under the influence is not our top game. So,
oh, but I feel at the top of my game every day.
good. Okay, this is really hard.
I'm sorry, I'm being so hard. I'll like
No,
tone it
it's
down.
good. It makes me think. No, I'm trying to think of what I would say. Like, it's hard because, like, we as LDS people, have this understanding. No, being under the influence is not your top game, but the world doesn't see it that way. Anyways, okay, back in my role. All right. Well, the company policy states that you are not supposed to be drinking on the job or come into work being, what do you say, drunk under the influence. Anyway, so since this has been your first occurrence, we just wanted to talk about this and let you know, like, remind you of the company policies. And I really value you as an employee. You do good work, and I really appreciate everything you do, and I don't want to see that decline in any way. But if this occurs again, company policy states that we would have to terminate you, and I really, really don't want to do that because you are amazing with your clients and you're amazing with the other coworkers. So, can I count on you to not let that happen again?
I'm not sure, but I can try. I know that I'm a good employee though, and yeah, like we'll live life and we'll do work.
Okay. Thanks, Kylie.
You're welcome, Stephanie.
Oh, how do I follow that up?
I don't know. That would be hard. I feel like, yeah. I don't know. I was kind of thinking about different ways too, like how I'd respond when I was responding.
Yes. Oh. Okay. All right.
Okay, I'll be the employer now, I guess. We don't need to talk about it, do we? I mean, do we need to discuss like what we could have done better, Deborah, I guess, or?
No.
I guess not.
I think we just switch and then
maybe
discuss it afterwards. Okay, so I'm
Sounds
supposed
good.
to.
Okay.
All right.
Hey. Stephanie, how's your day going? Are you feeling good?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah. No, we just love having you at work. It's been such a pleasure having you a part of our staff. We know that you're a really valued member of our team. How have you liked the job so far?
It's been really great. The people here are really, really awesome, and yeah, love it. Man, I
That's awesome.
love the hours. They're great.
Good. What do you feel like you've gained from your experience here?
Are we talking PR? Sorry, I'm trying to
Yeah,
think of what the
I
game.
guess. Yeah, just kind of make something up.
Man, I've gained so much. Like, there's so many great workers here that have really shown me the ropes on how to, like, some great activities to do with my clients. So I think maybe the biggest thing I've learned is just creativity with my clients and reaching their goals.
Okay, awesome. Hey, can I talk to you about something pretty important? Do you have a couple minutes?
Yeah. Not all the time in the world for you.
Okay, awesome. Hey, do you want to step into my office real quickly?
Sure. Sure.
Okay.
What's this about?
So do you remember or recall that we routinely do blood alcohol tests?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're aware that we just did one pretty recently, just the other day, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so your blood alcohol level actually came back to over the limit of what we allow to be considered even coherent here on the job. So what I'm trying to imply,
Oh, really?
what I'm trying to imply is that you were not capable of performing your job to what we would hope the standards would be as far as being coherent and being really there for your patients.
Wait. I don't understand how that could happen. I mean, are you sure that was my test?
Absolutely, yeah. So you were actually the only one that was tested that day. And we made sure, and yeah, I actually had somebody witness the test to make sure that the labels were right and that it was sent off to the right lab and that the right test was performed on it.
Wow. I mean, I don't know how that could happen. Oh, you know what? Didn't we have like a group party that day? Are you sure that someone didn't sneak something in?
Well, I'm fairly certain that somebody didn't put something in because I actually had some of the punch as well, and I didn't have any influence of any alcohol or didn't taste anything. And in fact, I would probably be pretty sure that I would know that somebody's different considering the fact that I've never tasted it before.
Wow. Well, if you've never tasted it before, then how would you know?
We had several employees that had the punch, and none of them were under the conditions that you were on that work day, and that's why we asked you to take a blood alcohol test because we knew that you weren't exactly yourself, and regardless, I guess, of the situation, we knew that you were not up to par as far as treating your clients. I just have a question about that, especially with our clients that we're treating, the at-risk youth that may be addicted to drugs or other substances. How do you think that would be an influence upon them if you came up to work under the influence of drugs or alcohol and not being able to address them in their situation?
Sorry, I'm trying to like help my son up on the bed.
No, you're so good. Take your time, Sophie.
What are you, a dead fish? Come on. Fine. He just thinks it's funny to hang there. Man, I don't know. I mean, I guess like it wouldn't be professional. I mean, I don't think they would really mind, but
Well, I think that considering the fact that we're trying to get them to recover from their addictions, that is not the best example to be setting forth towards them when they aren't allowed to have any at the time. And you come, and obviously they know what the signs are if they're around all the time. It's just not very professional. And to be honest, like, we really appreciate you, but we also expect more of you. And we hope that you would hold yourself up to those standards to be able to be available enough and coherent enough to not only be example unto your clients, but to also do your job in a proper manner. Would you agree with that?
yeah.
Well, considering that this is the first time that we've caught you being under the influence of any kind of alcohol or drugs, we'd ask you to make sure that you are coherent before you come into work, that you really don't have too much alcohol in your system to where you can do your job. And if we really are noticing that you are having trouble with this again, we'll have what is that? An employee appraisal, to where we'll have the district over, or the supervisor of employees come and appraise you for, and see what your account you for what you've been doing. So this is your warning, but we just want you to know, though, that we really would love it for you to be able to do your job and to do well at it. So we just would ask you to not do it again, so that we don't have to put you in that position. Can we count on you to do that?
Yes. Sure. I guess. I mean, sounds good to me.
Awesome. Well, we really look forward to it, and we're really appreciating everything that you're doing with the at-risk youth right now, and we really hope that they can really continue to learn from your experiences, even as you have had problems in the past, or maybe they're under the influence, so that they can be able to learn from you and be able to gain and grow.
Thanks,
So fun.
Stephanie. I'm really sorry.
No, you're so fine, Stephanie. Do what you need to do.
What, honey? Here, just a second. I'm gonna mute it.
You're fine. You're so good.
All right, I'm back. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're so fine.
Okay. It doesn't say that we have to discuss it, but it would probably be beneficial if we did.
Okay.
Um,
I agree.
that was like really hard being the employee because never in my life do I think I would be found in that circumstance. I don't even know what I would say.
But really though, yeah.
And I'm like you said, like I haven't had a lot of exposure to drunk people. I mean, I've been around it a little bit, but not like, I don't know, nothing where confrontational or, I don't know, interesting. I liked how you opened with, you know, how I was a valued employee. I think that was a really good starting point.
Well, thanks. I thought it was really good how, like, I mean, you kind of put that towards the end, but I thought that was really good as well because you want to leave it on a good note and you want to, like, make sure that they feel appreciated. And then also you asked me, like, I think, what was the question you asked me in the very beginning? Oh, you asked me if everything's going okay. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. I guess just like some feedback on that though. I feel like too, you kind of assume that position already, people could be already defensive about it to the point where maybe they don't want to necessarily open their life into you because you're already kind of prying at it.
That's a good point. Really good point. Keep that in mind when I have to have a discussion with my employee about drinking on the job.
No, I mean, other than that, like, it was really good, so.
Oh, thanks. I felt like I was stumbling. I don't know how to do this, but no, that was. You stayed really professional. I really liked how you brought in, like how
Hold
it would
on,
affect the
Stephanie,
client.
sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Thank you. Do you need a sign for it? Awesome. Oh, it's not me. There you go. Hey, thank you so much. Have a good day. Okay, sorry. The UPS man just came, so.
You're fine.
Okay, sorry.
I really liked how you stayed professional. Oh, you brought in about the clients, how it would affect the clients. I think that was a really good. I honestly didn't know how to say, like, how to respond to that. Like, because to me, if someone was like telling me one of my behaviors would, like, could adversely affect somebody, you know, that I'm over in my job, I think I'd be like, oh, whoa, really? Like, dang. But yeah, that was a really good. It is. I think it's important to bring in the fact that our actions don't just affect us. You know, how you were saying, like, I just live life. Like, I think it might have been like good for me to say, you know, I think that's great that you live that way. You know, whatever, you know, that's fine for you and your personal time, but you know, just living life the way that, like, off the handle doesn't fly here at work. You know, there's people that are affected by that.
Right.
That would probably be a good. What? Yeah. Anyways, okay. Then let's move on to the next thing, personality assessment. Did you take the personality assessment?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
it wasn't that long. I feel like in the other ones that we had to do for like 472, I think.
Was like way longer.
Yeah, it was like 600 questions or something.
Yeah, there was like a ton of questions. But this one, I think, like, I liked how it, one half was how would you describe yourself, and then the other one was like, pick the description that most appeals to you. Because I think that can be kind of different. Like, wannabe different, but it sometimes are not. Anyways, okay. It says, apply your learning from taking a personality assessment by answering the following question. What motivates you intrinsically and extrinsically? So maybe let's start. Do you want to read? We'll read each of our descriptions. I have mine pulled up, so I'll read mine first.
No, that'd be great.
So it's just the general description. Mine is ENFPs. What I am. Are friendly and creative. They have almost supernatural ability to accurately read people and events. They're curious, wanting to know what else besides the routine approach might work. And they are flexible, always willing to try something new. They are bored with regular routine and find themselves pulled to new adventures before they've finished their old ones. They can be persuasive speakers, able to communicate a vision more easily than others can, and often make dynamic leaders.
I think I have the exact same one. It's like ENFP, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's funny.
Mine says the same
and
thing.
I feel like some of it describes me, and then some of it doesn't quite describe me. I don't know. Do you feel that way? Or do you feel like it pretty accurately describes you?
I think in some ways it does. Well, like I feel like I'm friendly and like creative. Like I don't know. I guess in ways I really like to be that different person, and I really appreciated the question that they had. Like, do you like being different and things like that? Yeah, I don't know. I kind of do feel like I'm good at reading people, at least some things.
Yeah, I feel that way too. I think the part that still doesn't quite apply is like they are bored with regular routine or a little curious. I mean, I feel like in some situations I'm very curious, but in other situations I'm like very like stick to the routine, like don't change, like this is the way it is. I don't know.
And I'm like the same way in some ways, but I feel like in other ways I am spontaneous, just the way that I live life. And I feel like just because you have to live that way being a mom, you don't, I don't know, like maybe you have your kids on a schedule, and I know like my baby, he eats like pretty regularly, but other times too he's going through a growth spurt. And it's like for example, last night he woke up at, I don't know, I feel like 12 or whatever, and fed him till like 12:30, and then fed him to like 2 o'clock, and then he was up at 3:30 and put him down at 4:40, and then he woke up at 5:40, and then he'd go down to like, I don't know, almost 7:30, and then he's up at like 8:30 again. So it's like, you know, he's going through a growth spurt, and like for me that's like 3 hours of sleep, like super awesome, cool, you know. But like that, things like that, even though you want to be on a routine and normally he is, you can't like control that all the time.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the same way like that. Like as far as like, okay, maybe my daily routine, like when it comes to my kids, I think I like set things, but so like bedtime for my son is 8 o'clock, like on the dot. Like I am pretty strict, but that's mostly because I want alone time. You know, not necessarily like because I want to stick to the routine, but more because I want quiet time. So I have like
That's
things
important.
like that, like not like for him because he's established his routine now that he's like almost 2. But like when they were younger, I was definitely more like, like they sleep and they eat, like it's not like my daughter. She's not on a. Yeah, you're not on a routine, huh? No.
And how old is your daughter?
She is 6 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Throw caution to the wind, huh? Please, what's that? Just kidding. She was a pretty good sleeper. But yeah, I mean,
That's good.
but okay. So there's some questions we're supposed to answer. Let's see. What motivates you intrinsically and extrinsically? Hey, don't put up.
I guess I go first. Like intrinsically, I don't know. I am that type of person that like I'll do everything. Well, maybe this is more extrinsically. I don't know, but I'll see my baby and like I'll see other people, and I'd rather much take care of all of them before I do myself, whatever. And so like that's like a good thing and a bad thing. But yeah, and so like internally, I just kind of I guess think about them, but outside I like CO2. So I don't know. That's kind of a double-edged sword there.
Yeah.
But that's just at least one of mine.
Intrinsically, trying to think, like, I think, like, dealing with the world, I have, like, a really, I don't know what you call it, I don't know, big moral compass, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us do. But, like, just, I don't know, I've always been, like, could I deal with myself if I did this or said this or was in that type of job or treated someone this way? Like, if I went home like at night, am I gonna be beating myself up over it? And if I do something that isn't really like in line with what I think is right or wrong, like I do, like I will go home and I will beat myself up like that, like who does that say you are? Like you're not being like this isn't who you are type of a thing. And I think that really motivates me to like in my work, in my like as a parent, like I wanna be a good parent, but even in like schoolwork, like I want to be a good student, not because of my teacher or because of extrinsic motivations. Like I just feel like that's who I am. Whether I was getting a grade for this or not, I feel like I would do it anyways. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So I feel like I just
No, that kind of made me think of myself in that aspect, like the moral compass.
yeah.
For me, I've always had this like inherent, I don't know, I guess like I don't want to do anything wrong. I don't want to like mess up kind of thing. And especially too, I feel like the motivating factor behind that is probably I don't want to disappoint my Heavenly Father. Like that's probably like the most important thing. Are you there? Sorry. You're like frozen up.